He was ready to walk away until the woman on the line captured his heart. Captain Alina Voss stood on the bridge of the starship Aurora, watching the endless expanse of space through the main viewport. 3 months into humanity's boldest mission, to establish the first colony beyond the solar system, she had grown accustomed to the infinite darkness, punctuated only by distant stars. The weight of responsibility for her crew of 200 souls never left her shoulders. But tonight, something felt different. "Captain," came a voice from behind her. Communications Officer Jackson Reed approached with a puzzled expression on his weathered face. At 45, Jackson had served on more deep space missions than anyone else aboard the Aurora, and Alina had learned to trust his instincts completely. "What is it, Jackson?" Alina turned from the viewport, her dark hair catching the soft blue glow of the bridge lighting. Even after months in space, she maintained the crisp appearance that had earned her respect throughout the Space Command. "We're receiving a transmission, Captain. It's not from Earth." Jackson handed her a datapad, his fingers trembling slightly. "The signal is coming from approximately 2 light hours ahead of our current position. The pattern is too organized to be natural phenomena." Alina studied the wavelength patterns on the screen. Her heart began to race as the implications hit her. "Are you saying this is artificial? It's from another intelligence?" "That's exactly what I'm saying, Captain. We're not alone out here." The bridge fell silent except for the gentle hum of the ship's systems. Alina looked around at her crew, seeing the same mixture of excitement and fear reflected in their faces that she felt in her own chest. This was the moment humanity had dreamed about for centuries, yet now that it was here, the reality felt overwhelming. "Have you attempted to decode the message?" Alina asked, moving closer to Jackson's communication console. "Been working on it for the past hour. Mathematical structure suggests intelligence, but the language is completely foreign. However, there's something else, Captain." Jackson's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "The signal isn't just a message, it's a response." "A response to what?" "To our own transmissions. Someone has been listening to us, learning our language patterns, and now they're trying to communicate back." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. The Aurora had been broadcasting standard exploration protocols since leaving Earth, never imagining that anyone might be receiving them. The thought that some alien intelligence had been studying their communications for months was both thrilling and terrifying. Captain Navigator Chen Wei called from her station. "I'm detecting a massive object approaching our position. Distance, approximately 1 million kilometers, and closing." Alina moved quickly to the main display as the sensors painted a picture that defied belief. The approaching vessel was unlike anything in human imagination. Elegant curves flowed seamlessly into crystalline structures that seemed to capture and bend starlight around them. The ship was easily 3 times the size of the Aurora, yet it moved with the grace of a dancer through the void. "All stop," Alina commanded. "Defensive posture, but do not power weapons unless I give the order." The alien ship slowed as it approached, matching the Aurora's position with precision that spoke of advanced technology. Alina watched in fascination as panels along the vessel's hull began to glow with a soft, warm light that pulsed in rhythm with the transmission Jackson was monitoring. "Captain, they're hailing us," Jackson announced, his voice filled with wonder. "The signal is coming through on standard communication frequencies, and ... Why?" He paused, checking his instruments twice. "They're speaking English." "Put it through," Alina said, straightening her uniform and smoothing her hair. Whatever happened next would change the course of human history. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a figure that took Alina's breath away. The being appeared humanoid, but with features that spoke of an entirely different evolutionary path. Skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light, eyes the color of deep ocean water, and in graceful elegance that was both alien and somehow familiar. "Greetings, Captain Alina Voss of the human vessel Aurora." The figure spoke, her voice carrying musical undertones that resonated through the bridge. "I am Ambassador Kira Thorne of the Celestial Federation. We have been waiting a long time to meet you." Lena found herself momentarily speechless, struck not just by the historic nature of the moment, but by something inexplicable in the alien ambassador's gaze. There was intelligence there, curiosity, and something else that made her heart skip a beat. Ambassador Thorne, Alina managed, finding her voice. This is indeed a historic moment. We come in peace, representing all of humanity. Kira's lips curved in what could only be described as a smile. As do we, Captain. Perhaps it is time our peoples finally met face to face. The shuttle bay of the alien vessel was a marvel of architecture that defied human understanding. Smooth, organic curves stretched toward a ceiling that seemed to shift and flow like liquid starlight. Alina and Jackson stepped carefully from their transport pod, their environmental suits feeling clunky and primitive in this place of elegant beauty. Welcome aboard the Harmony. Ambassador Kira Thorne glided toward them with movements that seemed to defy gravity. Without her environmental suit, Alina could see that Kira stood nearly 6 feet tall. With a lithe figure that moved with predatory grace, her skin held an opalescent quality that shifted between pale blue and silver depending on the light. Thank you for accepting our invitation, Alina replied, removing her helmet and breathing the ship's atmosphere cautiously. To her surprise, the air was not only breathable, but carried a subtle fragrance reminiscent of ocean breezes and flowering gardens. Kira's eyes, Alina noticed, never left her face. There was an intensity to the alien's gaze that made Alina feel as though she was being studied and appreciated simultaneously. Your species is even more fascinating than our observations suggested, Kira said softly. You carry such strength and vulnerability in equal measure. Jackson cleared his throat, breaking the moment. Ambassador, we're curious about your peoples, history, and how you came to find us. Kira led them through corridors that seemed to pulse with gentle bioluminescent light. The Celestial Federation has existed for over 10,000 years, uniting dozens of species across this galaxy. We have been monitoring your world since your first radio transmissions reached us nearly a century ago. A century? Lena stopped. Walking. You've been watching us for 100 years and never made contact? Your species was not ready. Kira turned to face them, her expression growing serious. You were still learning to live in harmony with your own world. We waited until you showed the courage to reach beyond your solar system, to seek new homes among the stars. They entered a vast chamber with walls that appeared transparent, offering a breathtaking view of both ships floating in the cosmic void. A table had been prepared with what appeared to be food and drink from both cultures. Please, sit, Kira gestured gracefully. I understand human customs include sharing meals during important discussions. As they settled around the table, Alina found herself fascinated by Kira's every movement. The ambassador possessed an otherworldly elegance, but there were subtle expressions and gestures that seemed almost familiar, almost human. Your English is remarkable, Alina commented, accepting a crystal glass filled with a pale, glowing liquid. How did you learn our language so thoroughly? Kira's smile held a hint of mystery. I have been studying your transmissions for many years, Captain. Our species has such beautiful complexity in how you express emotions and ideas. I found myself particularly drawn to your poetry and music. You enjoy human art? Jackson asked. Clearly surprised? Very much. There is something in human creativity that resonates deeply with our own aesthetic sensibilities. Your capacity for love, sacrifice, and hope creates art that transcends species barriers. Alina felt warmth spread through her chest at Kira's words. What about your own culture? What do your people value most? Harmony, Kira replied without hesitation. We believe that all life in the universe is connected, that every species has something unique to contribute to the cosmic symphony. When we heard your transmissions, we knew humanity would add a voice that has been missing. The conversation flowed naturally for hours, covering topics from technology and philosophy to personal dreams and fears. Alina found herself opening up to Kira in ways she rarely did with anyone, sharing stories of her childhood on Earth, her reasons for choosing a life among the stars, and her hopes for humanity's future. You carry the weight of your people's dreams, Kira observed, leaning forward slightly. It must be lonely, being responsible for so many lives. Elena's breath caught at the understanding in Kira's voice. It is, sometimes. The decisions I make affect not just my crew, but potentially the future of human space exploration. One mistake could ... Could what? Kira's voice was gentle, encouraging, could doom us all to remain trapped in our own small corner of the universe. Kira reached across the table and placed her hand over Elena's. The contact sent an unexpected shock through Elena's system. Kira's skin was warm and smooth, but there was something electric about her touch that made Elena's pulse race. "You are not alone anymore," Kira said, her ocean blue eyes holding Elena's gaze. "The Federation exists to help species like yours find their place among the stars." Before Elena could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. The lights shifted from warm gold to urgent red as Kira leaped to her feet with inhuman speed. "What's happening?" Elena demanded, instantly shifting into command mode. Kira was already moving toward a console that materialized from the wall at her approach. "Cosmic storm," she said, her fingers dancing across controls that responded to her touch like living things. "A massive stellar disruption is heading directly for both our ships." Jackson activated his communicator. "Aurora, this is Reed. Report." "Sir, we've got a problem," came Navigator Chen's voice, tight with stress. "Massive energy wave approaching. Fast. Our shields won't hold against something this size." Elena and Kira looked at each other across the chamber, and Elena saw her own determination reflected in the alien's eyes. "How much time do we have?" Elena asked. 17 minutes until impact," Kira replied grimly. "Neither of our ships can survive this alone." "Then we work together," Elena said without hesitation. "What do you need from us?" Kira's expression shifted to something Elena couldn't quite identify. Admiration mixed with something deeper and more personal. "Everything, Captain. We'll need to link our ship's defensive systems and combine our shields. It will require perfect coordination." "Then let's get started," Elena said, already heading for the door. As they rushed toward the shuttle bay, she felt Kira's hand brush against hers again, sending that same electric thrill through her body. Whatever was happening between them would have to wait. Right now, they had 2 ships full of people to save. The next 90 minutes transformed Elena's understanding of both technology and trust. Working side by side with Kira in the Aurora's engineering section, she watched the alien ambassador integrate their systems with a skill that bordered on artistry. Kira's hands moved across both human and alien interfaces, as though she had been born to bridge the gap between their technologies. "Your ship's power core resonates at a frequency that complements our shield harmonics perfectly," Kira explained, her shoulder brushing against Elena's as they worked in the cramped space. "It's almost as if our technologies were designed to work together." "Maybe they were," Elena replied, acutely aware of Kira's proximity. The alien's presence seemed to fill the small engineering bay with an energy that had nothing to do with the massive power conduits surrounding them. Maybe this meeting wasn't as accidental as we thought. Their eyes met across the glowing control panel, and Elena saw something shift in Kira's expression. The professional mask slipped for just a moment, revealing something vulnerable and deeply personal beneath. "The storm is intensifying." Jackson's voice crackled through the communicator, breaking the spell between them. "Estimated impact in 4 minutes?" Elena forced herself to focus on the readings streaming across her screens. "Shield integration is at 87%. We need full synchronization or this won't work. I can achieve full integration," Kira said quietly, "but I'll need to establish a direct neural link with your ship's systems. It's dangerous for my species. If something goes wrong, ... double quotes, what kind of dangerous?" Elena demanded, turning to face her fully. Kira's skin had taken on a pale, almost translucent quality. "If the link fails during the storm, the feedback could kill me. But without perfect synchronization, both ships will be destroyed anyway." Elena felt something twist in her chest at the thought of losing Kira so soon after finding her. "There has to be another way." "There isn't." Kira moved to a central console and placed both hands on the smooth surface. "Captain, I need you to monitor my vital signs. If the connection becomes unstable, you'll have to sever the link manually." "Kira, no, I won't let you sacrifice yourself for us." Kira turned to look at her, and Elena saw something fierce and beautiful in the alien's expression. "This isn't just about your ship or mine anymore, Elena. It's about what we could become together. Our species, she added quickly, but her eyes said something different entirely. Before Elena could protest further, Kira initiated the neural link. The effect was immediate, and stunning. Energy flowed between the two ships like liquid light. Alina could feel the moment when their defensive systems merged into something greater than the sum of their parts. But she could also see what the effort was costing Kira. The ambassador's body went rigid, skin shifting through colors Alina had never seen before, and a sound that might have been pain escaped her lips. Kira. Alina moved to her side, placing a steadying hand on the alien's back. The moment they made contact, something unexpected happened. Alina could suddenly sense the storm approaching, could feel the massive wave of cosmic energy bearing down on them like a living thing. More than that, she could feel Kira's presence in her mind, warm and strong and utterly unlike anything she had ever experienced. 2 minutes to impact, Jackson announced. Both ships are showing full shield integration. It's working. Alina kept her hand on Kira's back, feeling the ambassador's strength flowing through the connection between their ships and somehow between the two of them as well. "Hold on," she whispered. "Just hold on." The storm hit with a violence that defied description. Space itself seemed to twist around them as the energy wave crashed against their combined shields. The Aurora shuddered and groaned, but the shields held. Through her connection with Kira, Alina could feel the alien ship stretching its capabilities to the breaking point as well. Shield strength holding at 93%, Engineer Martinez reported from the bridge. "Whatever you two did down there, it's working." But Alina could feel Kira weakening. The neural link was consuming the ambassador's strength at a dangerous rate. Alina found herself pouring her own energy into the connection, trying to help bear the load. "Alina, don't," Kira gasped, her voice barely audible. "You don't understand the risks." "I understand that we're in this together," Alina replied firmly. "Whatever happens, we face it as one." The storm raged for what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes. When it finally passed, the sudden quiet seemed almost as shocking as the chaos that had preceded it. Kira collapsed against the console, her skin now a pale pearl color that Alina instinctively knew meant exhaustion. "Are you all right?" Alina caught Kira as she swayed, supporting the alien's weight against her own body. This close, she could smell something like vanilla and starlight in Kira's hair. "I will be," Kira murmured, but she made no move to step away from Alina's embrace. "The link, ... it's not completely severed. I can still feel you, Alina. Your thoughts, your emotions." Alina realized she could feel it too, a warm presence in her mind that was unmistakably Kira. "Is that normal?" "Nothing about this is normal," Kira replied, lifting her head to meet Alina's eyes. "The neural link between our species should have been impossible, but somehow, with you." Alina found herself leaning closer, drawn by something in Kira's gaze that spoke of wonder and desire, and the kind of connection that transcended species barriers. "Kira, Captain Jackson's voice interrupted through the communicator. "Both crews are requesting permission to meet. It seems saving each other's lives has created quite a bond between our people." Alina stepped back reluctantly, helping Kira steady herself. "Of course. Arrange a gathering in the main cargo bay. It's time our crews got to know each other properly." As they prepared to leave engineering, Kira caught Elena's hand. "What happened between us during the storm?" she said quietly. "I've never experienced anything like it. The connection we forged. I don't think it can be undone." Elena squeezed Kira's hand, feeling the electric warmth of her skin. "Maybe it's not supposed to be." The joint celebration in the Aurora's cargo bay had been a remarkable success. Humans and Federation members mingled freely, sharing stories, food, and laughter that seemed to transcend species barriers. Alina watched from the observation deck. Above, her heart warming at the sight of her crew embracing beings they had only dreamed about days before. "Your people are remarkable." Kira's voice came from beside her, though Alina hadn't heard her approach. The ambassador moved with a grace that made even walking seem like a form of art. "So are yours," Alina replied, not taking her eyes off the celebration below. "I've never seen my crew this happy. It's like they found something they didn't even know they were looking for." "And what about you, Captain? Have you found what you were looking for?" Alina turned to face Kira, struck as always by the aliens. "Otherworldly beauty. I didn't even know I was looking for anything until I met you." The words hung in the air between them, heavy with implications that Alina wasn't sure she was ready to face. Kira stepped closer, close enough that Alina could see the way starlight from the observation windows played across her. Opalescent skin. Alina. Kira said softly, "There's something you need to know. The Federation Council has been monitoring our interactions. They're concerned about the level of integration between our species." Concerned how? Alina felt a chill of premonition. "They believe we're moving too fast, becoming too close too quickly. There are protocols for first contact situations, careful steps, designed to prevent cultural contamination and political complications." Elena's jaw tightened. And falling in love with an alien ambassador would definitely qualify as a complication. Kira's eyes widened at Elena's blunt acknowledgement of what had been growing between them. "You feel it too, then? This connection?"
Out.
"Could I not? Ever since the storm, ever since we linked our minds." Elena moved closer, close enough to see her own reflection in Kira's deep blue eyes. "I can't stop thinking about you, about us." "It's forbidden," Kira whispered, but she didn't. "Step away. My people have strict laws about intimate relationships with newly contacted species. The risk of cultural contamination, the potential for political manipulation, and my people have regulations about fraternizing with alien dignitaries." Alina replied, "But I don't care about regulations right now." Kira's breath caught as Alina reached up to touch her cheek. The alien skin was impossibly soft, warm with that inner light that made her seem to glow from within. "Alina, if we do this, if we cross this line, there will be consequences for both our peoples." "Then let's make it worth the consequences," Alina murmured, drawing Kira closer. Their first kiss was unlike anything Alina had ever experienced. Kira's lips were soft and warm, but there was something else. An energy that seemed to flow between them that made Elena's entire body tingle. With electricity. The mental connection they had forged during the storm flared to life, and suddenly, Alina could feel Kira's emotions as clearly as her own. Wonder, desire, fear, and love, all mingled together in a symphony of feeling that left them both breathless. "My quarters," Alina whispered against Kira's lips. "We can't do this here." Kira nodded, her usual composed demeanor completely shattered. Hand in hand, they slipped away from the celebration, neither caring about the protocol they were breaking or the consequences they might face. Elena's quarters were modest by any standard, but in the soft lighting, with Kira's presence filling the space, they felt like the most romantic place in the universe. Kira moved to the viewport, staring out at the stars, and Alina could feel the aliens' nervousness through their mental link. "Are you having second thoughts?" Alina asked, moving to stand behind her. "Many," Kira admitted. "But not about you?" "Never about you." She turned in Elena's arms, her hands coming up to frame Elena's face. "I've waited my entire life to feel what I feel when I'm with you. I won't let fear destroy that." What followed was a night of discovery that redefined Elena's understanding of intimacy. Their mental connection meant that every touch, every caress, every whispered endearment was shared between them in ways that transcended the physical. Alina lost herself in the wonder of Kira's alien beauty, the way her skin seemed to respond to touch with subtle changes in color and luminosity, the musical sounds of pleasure that escaped her lips. When dawn came, they lay intertwined in Elena's narrow bunk, Kira's head resting on Elena's chest, their breathing synchronized. The mental link between them had stabilized into something permanent, a constant awareness of each other that felt as natural as breathing. "What happens now?" Alina asked, stroking Kira's silken hair. "Now we face the storm we've created," Kira replied sadly. "My superiors will recall me within hours once they realize what's happened. Your command structure will probably court-martial you for compromising the mission." Alina tightened her arms around Kira. "Then we have a choice to make. Do we let them separate us, or do we fight for what we found?" Before Kira could answer, Elena's communicator chimed with an incoming priority message. With a sinking heart, Alina activated the device. "Captain Voss," came the stern voice of Admiral Harrison from Earth Command. "You are to return to Earth immediately for debriefing regarding your unauthorized contact with alien forces." "Ambassador." Thorn is to be released to Federation custody, pending investigation into treaty violations. Alina looked down at Kira, seeing her own determination reflected in the alien's eyes. Admiral, with respect, I decline those orders. Captain, you are in violation of first contact protocols and possibly guilty of treason. Return to Earth immediately, or face court-martial. Alina switched off the communicator and looked at Kira. I guess that answers that question. Kira smiled, the first genuine smile Alina had seen from her since their night together. So we fight? We fight, Alina confirmed, sealing their decision with a kiss that tasted of stardust and rebellion. The standoff that followed lasted 3 tense days. Federation ships arrived first, sleek vessels that surrounded the Harmony with barely contained threat. Hours later, Earth's military response appeared on long-range sensors, a battle fleet, led by Elena's former mentor, Admiral Sarah Kim, aboard the dreadnought Titan. Elena stood on the Aurora's bridge, Kira beside her, as both forces took defensive positions around them. The irony wasn't lost on her that their love story, which had begun with 2 species working together to survive a cosmic storm, might now be the catalyst for the first interstellar war. Both fleets are demanding our surrender, Jackson reported. Grimly, Federation forces want Ambassador Thorn returned for trial. Earth Command wants you in custody for treason. And what do our crews want? Alina asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. To follow you, came the immediate reply from Navigator Chen. Both crews, human and Federation personnel alike. They've seen what we can accomplish together, through their mental. Alina felt Kira's surge of emotion at the unexpected support. They're willing to risk everything for us? Kira whispered. Not for us, Alina realized. For what we represent. The possibility of something better than fear and separation. Alina activated the ship's communication system, broadcasting to both fleets simultaneously. This is Captain Elena Voss of the Aurora. 3 days ago, 2 species met for the first time in cosmic history. Instead of suspicion and conflict, we found understanding and cooperation. We saved each other's lives, shared our cultures, and discovered that despite coming from different worlds, we shared the same hopes and dreams. She paused, feeling Kira's hand slip into hers, their fingers intertwining as they faced both their peoples together. Now our governments want to punish us for that success, to separate us out of fear of what we might become together. Ambassador, Thorn and I have committed no crime except daring to believe that love can transcend the boundaries between worlds. Admiral Kim's voice cut through the static. Captain Voss, you've violated every protocol in the book. Your emotional compromise has jeopardized humanity's first contact with an alien species. On the contrary, Admiral Alina replied, my connection with Ambassador Thorn has shown both our species what's possible when we choose trust over fear. Cooperation over conflict. A new voice joined the conversation, coming from the Federation fleet. Ambassador Thorn spoke High Counselor Zaravex in the musical tones of Kira's people. You have violated the purity accords by forming intimate bonds with a newly contacted species. Return for judgment or face exile from the Federation.
Akira
Stepped forward, her voice carrying across the void to both fleets. High Counselor, the purity accords were written in fear, to prevent the kind of understanding Captain Voss and I have achieved. If following my heart means exile from the Federation, then perhaps the Federation needs to examine its own heart. Alina squeezed Kira's hand, feeling the ambassador's courage through their link. But she also felt something else, a growing energy, that seemed to emanate from both fleets. Other voices were joining the conversation. Captain, came a transmission from one of the Federation vessels. This is Commander Tailrin. My crew stands with the Aurora. Captain Voss, another voice, added, this one from Earth's fleet. Lieutenant Commander Morrison aboard the Ranger. We've been monitoring your progress, what you've accomplished out here. It's what we all dreamed space exploration could be. Within minutes, ship after ship from both fleets was declaring their support for Alina and Kira. The careful political calculations of their superiors were being overwhelmed by the simple truth that the crews had witnessed something unprecedented and beautiful. This is mutiny, Admiral Kim declared angrily. No, Alina replied firmly. This is evolution. The crisis came to a head when long-range sensors detected a massive object approaching their position. Unlike the sleek vessels of either fleet, this newcomer was ancient and vast, its design incorporating elements from dozens of different species. The Concorde, Kira breathed, her face pale with awe. The original ship that founded the Federation, still manned by representatives of the First Contact Council. Alina watched as the massive vessel positioned itself between the opposing fleets, its very presence causing both sides to power down their weapons. A communication channel opened, and an ancient voice spoke with the weight of millennia. Sage Theron, first speaker of the original council. We have watched these events with great interest. Lena felt Kira tense beside her, but the ancient being continued in tones that held no judgment, only wisdom. 10,000 years ago, the Federation was born from exactly this kind of connection between different species. Love that transcended biological boundaries, understanding that overcame fear, unity forged in crisis. The sage paused. Captain Voss, Ambassador Thorn, you have not violated our laws. You have reminded us why those laws exist, to protect the connections that make civilization possible. The relief that flooded through Alina was immediately shared with Kira through their link, but the sage wasn't finished. However, the bond you have formed cannot be contained within existing structures. You have become something new, something that requires a new kind of mission. Alina and Kira exchanged glances. What kind of mission? Alina asked. The galaxy is vast, and there are countless species still isolated, still fearful, still waiting for someone to show them that unity is possible. You will be our ambassadors to the unknown, seeking out new civilizations and showing them what you have shown us today. Alina looked at Kira, seeing her own excitement reflected in the alien's luminous eyes. Through their mental link, she could feel that this was what they had both been searching for without knowing it. A purpose that would let them stay together while serving something greater than themselves. We accept, they said in unison. Their voices harmonizing in a way that seemed to resonate through space itself, as the various fleets began to disperse. Alina and Kira stood together on the Aurora's bridge, planning their new life among the stars. They had started as strangers from different worlds brought together by duty and chance. But through crisis and conflict, through the choice to trust each other despite every reason not to, they had become something unprecedented. They had become proof that love could indeed conquer the vast emptiness between worlds, creating bridges where none had existed before. And as they set course for unknown regions of the galaxy, hand in hand and heart to heart, they carried with them the hope that somewhere among the stars, other lonely souls were waiting to discover that they, too, were not alone. The universe suddenly seemed much less empty, filled with infinite possibilities for connection, understanding, and love that knew no boundaries. Their story was just beginning.